Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time clicking in, you're very much welcome. Kindly subscribe, give the video a like, drop me a comment. I'm always excited to read them. My name is Dami. I'm a student here in the Philippines. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my experience with Filipino nurses here in the Philippines. We all know that as a nursing student, in your second year, you are exposed to the clinical area. And these are the few lessons I've learned since I've started the journey. I've learned a lot from Filipino nurses, and it has changed my perspective about the whole nursing board. I'm a Nigerian, coming from where I'm coming from. Nursing or nurses are seen differently. They are seen as toxic people. They are seen as people who are very mean. They are seen as gossipers. They are seen as bad people. But I'm so excited that I got to study nursing in the Philippines because I have learned a lot. My perspective about nurses has changed. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys quickly things or lessons that I've learned from them. The first one is Filipino nurses are very compassionate people. When you go to the clinical area, the way they show empathy to their patients, like sometimes the way they act like they could take the pain immediately from their patient. They are very kind, they are very meek, they are very soft when treating their patients. Like you can feel the empathy. They treat sick people as though they are their family member. You can never hear a Filipino nurse in the hospital yelling at a patient. I've never seen. I've done clinicals in the province, I've done in the city. They try to maintain very good body language. They try to maintain good conduct when they are dealing with their patient. And this has changed my perspective because in Nigeria, mostly people don't like to visit the clinic. People don't like to go to the hospital because sometimes when you go there, the nurses do not show empathy. They yell at you. Sometimes I do not blame the nurses, maybe because they are underpaid. But even here in the Philippines, it's not like the nurses are paid so much, but they still try their best to conduct themselves. Because when you start a nursing journey, it's just like you are dedicating yourself to humanity without expecting little thanks from people. I realize that Filipino nurses are doing well in that aspect. That brings me to the second one. Filipino nurses are very hardworking. That's one of the things I've learned. You will never catch Filipino nurses in the hospital just sitting idle when they have to treat their patient. Never. They try to take their nursing notes, take vital sign. Thankfully, because we are student nurses, they allow us to take vital sign. You see them, even after we've taken the vital sign, they want to be sure they clean the environment. You can't just see them idle. And I feel like Filipino nurses are not celebrated enough in the Philippines because those people, they do a lot of work, especially in public hospitals where you find lots of patients. You see them trying to manage the situation to their best ability. So it's one thing that I've learned, and this will go with me forever. Thank God I studied here. When I finally graduate, I will try to put in my best to serve humanity. That brings me to the third one. Filipino nurses are competent. For example, Filipino nurse will not just administer medication to you. They will make sure they check. If it's okay, they don't do their work in a rush. You can't just walk up to a Filipino nurse and just tell her that, "Ma'am, I'm feeling headache," and she'll just give you paracetamol. She'll make sure she confirms from all the necessary authorities that she's supposed to confirm from before administering the medication to you. For instance, my country, like, we don't really prioritize all of that because even in a normal chemist, you can buy antibiotics, while in the Philippines, you need prescription. Before a Filipino nurse would do anything with their patient, they must take order from the right source, which is something that I love very much because it has helped reduce complication among patients. That brings me to the fourth one. Filipino nurses, they have good communication skills. Like when they are communicating with their patient, for instance, I was posted to pedia ward. We all know that pedia ward can be very stressful because you are dealing with children. They know how to tickle the babies. They know how to play with them. They know how to make them compose to get the medication. They know how to relax the babies, to make them to allow them treat them. Even when you go to emergency room, the way once they bring in patient, the way they talk to you, ask your name, it's always like, in fact, they are doing a great job. I hope the country gets to celebrate Filipino nurses better than they are doing now. And this brings me to the last one, which is the fifth one. The Filipino nurses always follow ethical conduct, like they dress properly. You will never catch Filipino nurses gossiping about your health condition, like trying to, because like in my country, if you have like infections, like maybe tuberculosis, sexual transmitted diseases, and you go to the hospital, like people, like the nurses there would like try to mock you, or even as a teenager when you get pregnant, they yell at you, why, how come you get pregnant at this age? No, you will never find Filipino nurses doing that. They try to be professional as much as they can. They will treat you, you will never see them like chewing gum, doing things that are not supposed to be done in the clinical area. And this, I'm so happy that I've learned from them, and I hope that moving forward I will be able to implement all the things I have learned from these Filipino nurses that I've worked with in the past. And I also pray that they get celebrated, they get paid like equal to the work they deliver. And this brings me to the end of my video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, kindly subscribe, give my video a like, drop me a comment. I'm always excited to read them, and I'll catch you guys in my next video, and it's bye for now. Is it okay?